Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and find a little bit of seated cat-cow to start off with. So finding, again, this position that's comfortable, hands on the knees or on the legs. And then whichever breath works best for you to do that, drawing the navel to the spine, drawing the head forward, and then the opposite on the other breath. And just moving at the pace of your breath, doing this maybe 5 or 6 times. I'm trying to find what naturally feels like a fairly full yet comfortable breath. Feeling the air being helped by the movement of your body in its inhale and its exhale. Feeling the rocking of the pelvis itself, the movement of your tail and your head, helping the rest of the spine in these movements. And when that feels pretty good, coming back into neutral. And then we're going to remember that we came probably from animals in the water. And let's find a little side-to-side movement of the spine a little bit as well. And again, finding your breath with this, and moving the shoulders and the hips that feel comfortable with this. My head sometimes likes to kind of follow and move along with it as well. Imagining you're still undulating in the water. And again, when that feels comfortable, now let's think about also kind of radiating out a little bit. We're going to start to get into the arms a little bit here. So kind of, I like to do this. I like to do it with the inhale. You can always do it with the exhale. Just imagining that your breath is filling your whole body, but it's making your arms just want to go out. And the opposite breath, bringing everything kind of back in. So you can think of this like being like big jellyfishes in the water or starfishes. So using your breath, getting your arms moving a little bit. We're really trying to tap into that feeling that your breath is helping you move. Still your body, your arms, in any way that you want to. One more time. And return back to center. All right. So let's go ahead and send the legs out front, stretching them out a little bit. Getting little wiggles in the toes and in the feet. Moving everything a little forward, back, forward, back. The sides of the feet. Moving the ankles and the knees. And then even just rolling the legs a little bit. And moving the femur bones inside. Good. Again, if you want, bending the knees and kind of getting a little bit of that movement here. See how this feels on that part, Lillian, that has that pain in the center. See if it feels okay to do this. All right. And then let's go ahead and we're going to grab onto one of your blocks. And you can come back into this position. You can be sitting in the legs out in front, whatever feels best you to do. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take the block like this between the hands. And right here, just kind of get a little bit of pressure between the arms, a little bit of isometric work. You're going to feel how your shoulder blades may want to spread apart a little bit and even kind of round your back away from the block. Feel the shoulder blades retract. And then bringing the body towards the block. Feel the shoulder blades towards each other. Just do that a couple times. One more time. And now bringing the block like this, your lower ribs kind of underneath the breast tissue. Feeling that there. I've always had way more than I need. So just for a moment, feeling the block and feeling how it feels against the ribs, and just lifting up through the chest and feel how those lower ribs start to come out a little bit. Your body tends to do that back in. And then as you come back in. And what I want you to find is that feeling that finding kind of your neutral spine. And when you find that, you may feel like you have more of a connection between like the pubic bone and these low ribs. So when I lift my eyes, if I don't pay attention, I don't really feel this. I just sometimes don't even notice my whole rib cage starts to go with it. My shoulders go back, my whole rib cage goes. So holding this in, just lightly lift your head, but keep the rib cage from moving, and back down, and back down. Good. Turn it side to side. Good. All right. So remembering the sense, we're going to go back to having the grip like this. Now go ahead and bring it up like this, like almost it's in front of your eyes. And we're going to try to bring the elbows towards each other, and then opening away from each other. All right. Just feeling okay on the shoulder. Arms AD ducking and AD ducking. Good. And now a light pressure, it doesn't have to be a lot. And we're going to take the elbows down like this, almost like they're parallel with the floor, the locks up here. And then we're going to try to just bring the elbows up towards the ceiling and then back. Good. And maybe all the way down. Let's try that one more time. Feeling okay on the shoulders? All the way up. And back. Good. All right. Now we're going to take this block. We're going to have this edge against the back of the head. So getting that edge just right at the bumpy part of the back of the head, not down on the neck, but up here. And we're again going to kind of try to find that the rib cage is maintaining a sync, but now we're going to circle the body a little bit, and we're just connecting a little bit of isometric work between the back of the head and the block. So a little bit of that. I feel my midsection turn on. And we're just going to see, how does it feel to maybe circle the body a little bit. Maybe 2 times in one direction. And then we'll pause and go back in the other direction 2 times. And after that second time, go ahead and bring that brick up and release it. Just do a couple nice big shoulder circles. All right. So now, let's just take the 2 bricks, one in each hand, just to have something to hold on to. And from keeping your forearms even with the floor, just do a couple lifting up and down. Just getting your wrists open up and over a little bit. Good. And then from having, again, the wrist fairly neutral, actually hold on the brick on the neutrals like that. And then try to take your hand to one side. You're trying to turn the brick and the other side. And try to keep your forearms still and let this come from the wrist. That's turn in is easy. Good. All right, so we're down a moment and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So now we're going to have one of the blocks, and this is what I call delivering a pizza. We're going to take the block. Let's put it in the right hand. You're going to put it on the palm of your right hand. Now, if you need be, you can use your pinky finger and thumb to kind of hold onto the block the first time. Eventually, try to do it without holding onto the block. So we're going to take it out front, and then take it out to the side. Bend the elbow and start to bring it in towards the body. And then we're going to bring it towards the body and circle it and bring it out back. As far back as you can. Good. And then undo what we just did. And out to the side and out to the front. Good. Switch hands. Try the left hand like this. Good. Out to the side. Bend the elbow. Circle it around. Take it as far back as you can. Good. And then back. Out to the side. And to the front. All right, good job. You all passed Pizza Delivery 101. Let's do it one more time to each side. So out in front. out to the side. Bend the elbow. Swirl it around. Reach out back. Bring it back. Out to the side. And back to the front. Good. Switch hands. Here we go. Out to the side. Bend the elbow. Bring the block in between the body. Reach it out to the back. And then bring it back. Out to the side. And to the front. Good job. All right. So things like that. We've done some things. There's another one that we'll do some other day where it takes our shoulders through all the different things. Usually, though, the one that we don't do that often is reaching back. We do a lot of stuff out to our sides, out in front. Those things aren't as tough. The reaching out and back is a little tough. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things also here on the ground. Go ahead and get, if you're sitting on anything, you're going to want to come off of that blanket or block. Put the blocks off to the side and kind of move your things a little bit off to the side as well. Okay, so what we're going to do here, let's see if I can remember well. We're going to come up onto hands and knees. If you want a little blanket, but we're going to practice a little bit with hovering the knees off of the ground. Right? So remember that when we've done stuff like this, we talk about that scrubbing action. Like you're trying to drag the hands towards the knees and the knees towards the hands. So let's start off with that. Just find your kind of those frog fingers. That sense that you're not just pushing down your hands into the ground, but you're also lifting up towards the armpits. And at the same time, remember when we had that block on your rib cage. Try to connect your rib cage and your pubic bone. Good. Now from here, actually push up and really feel your shoulder blades spread, like we're kind of doing cat, but we're not really. And then come back into neutral. Do that one more time. Lifting, 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 feeling your shoulder blades spread, and come back to neutral. Good. Now we're going to try that, dragging the hands and the knees towards each other. Good. And then we're going to take and we're going to just start to reach the right foot back, toes down, pushing out through the crown of the head. Do that still connecting between the rib cage and the pubic bone. And then if it's comfortable, we're going to start to lift that leg and back. And then lift the left arm. You're in bird dog. Good. And draw the elbow and the knee towards each other. Spread the shoulder blades. You can really lift up the back. Reach back out. Try to find that neutral spine. Pubic bone and rib cage connected. One more time. Draw the knee and the elbow in. Lift through the upper back. One more time, backing out. And bring it on down. Good. Come on up on the hands and knees. Let's move those wrists. Is that wrist bothering you, Lillian? Is it? Where? Okay. All right. As an option, try the fist down so that the wrist doesn't bend as much. Let's see. This next one will be lifting up that hand, so it won't be on that hand. But if this wrist bothers you, try like this, because then you don't have the bend in the wrist. You won't have that. Okay. All right. We're going to come back down and do the other side now. So either this hand position or with the fists. Dragging the hands towards the knees, dragging the knees towards the hands. Again, that pushing up through the shoulder blades and return back to neutral. Good. Let's take the left leg back, still the toes on the ground. Right here, be aware of the rib cage and the pubic bone. Try to keep them connected. And then we're going to lift the right arm off, extend out, maybe lift up through that back leg. And if it's comfortable, draw the elbow and the knee in. And then really try to almost do cat pose while you're doing that. And then reach back out. Connect the rib cage and the pubic bone. One more time. Elbow and knee come in. Cat pose in it if you can. Reach it out. Find the rib cage and the pubic bone. And bring it in. Good. And one more time. Let's come up on the knees this time. And just, again, wiggle out. Did that help to do the fists? Okay, good. Shake out the arms a little bit. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these resistance bands and we're going to put them around our elbows. Actually, let's see. Let me think about this. So one is around just the wrist. I need to bring down my other set that this is like a blue band. All right. Maybe just around the wrist. Yeah, just around the wrist. Okay. And in fact, let's just come up to standing. Okay. So here, let's go ahead and bring the arms up and overhead. And just lightly, like you're not trying to split the band apart, but lightly feel your hands try to draw away from each other. And notice where you feel this in your arm. Think about where you're feeling this activity in your arm. And then relax for a moment. Let your arms down. Where did you feel it? Kind of along in there, a little bit of the outer upper. Good. So this is where we want to experience this. So what we're going to do in just a moment is we're going to come back down. But we're going to come into like a sort of a down dog, but with a bent knee down dog. Let me just show you. So we're going to come down. I'm going to have you place your hands. So I'm really got to work the band a little bit to try to get my hands where that normal position is. And I'm going to step back. Sorry. Bend the knees a little bit, and then start to come down with knees bent. But then I'm going to try to find my rib cage and pubic bone and find that neutral. And then we're going to come back up. Step forward and come up. All right? So it's kind of like we're doing a little mini sun salutation, but without the up dog. All right? And yes, thank goodness. I'm so good with this one. All right, so let's start off. Hands in the heart. Remember your intention and dedication. And then as you're ready, separating the hands, take the arms up and overhead, root down through the feet, find that light little bit of work on the outer shoulders. Just for a moment, feel your shoulder blades lift up, and then bringing them back down into place. Maybe one more time. Lift up. And then as they come back down, let's start to fold forward, finding forward bend, parvottonasana. Take a moment here, just feel into the legs, the hamstrings, maybe sway a little side to side if you want, or possibly bend the knees a little bit. And then as you're ready, we're going to start to really plant the hands down. So bend the knees, be able to place the hands, maybe a little stretch in the band in order to do that. Step it back towards a down dog. It doesn't have to be a full one, it could be if you want. Take a breath or two here. And then we're going to start to bend the knees, come up on the toes, and bring the knees towards the mat, but hover them a little bit. And then find that feeling of the rib cage and the pubic bone connecting again. Feel that. One more breath. And then we're going to just start to step it forward, coming back towards the forward bend. Finding forward bend, and let's come up through chair pose. Bend the knees, reach up through the arms. A little bit of pressure on this band. Here at chair pose, can you connect the rib cage and the pubic bone? And then push into the feet all the way up. Maybe a light back bend here. And then bring the hands down to the heart. All right. Let's go ahead and take the resistance back off. Set it off to the side. How'd that feel? All right. Does it remind us how those arms are working? Okay. It's fun. Okay. So now we're going to come down and we're going to go back and we're actually going to work with a little bit with either plank or knee plank. So again, Lillian, if the wrists are bothering you, remember that option of the fist because that can work there too. And we're going to see in plank or knee plank this connection, rib cage to pubic bone as well. A lot of times what happens with that is that we don't realize that especially when we start to get challenged bearing body weight. Down dog y'all have done and it's not so bad because your legs can take a lot of weight. But once we get into plank, where the arms end up having more of the weight bearing, we sometimes do funny stuff with our spine. And we kind of lose that connection that can actually be really strengthening for us. Okay, so here we go. Let's find our Tadasana and Savasana. Bowing to remember our intention and dedication there. And then as you're ready, lifting arms up, Savasana. Rooting down. As you're ready, folding forward into that forward bend. Lengthening partway. And we're going to set the hands down and step it back either to your plank or to your knee plank. Now remember that feeling of the band on around your arms, and even in your plank or your knee plank. Now finding the hands and the feet connecting, finding the lower ribs and the pubic bone connecting, and see if this is making your plank pose feel a little bit more comfortable or not. As you're ready, see if you can maintain that, lowering down nice and slow, coming all the way down onto the belly. And just take for a moment and relax your hands underneath your forehead. Wiggle, wiggle through the hips. Good. And then we're going to take the hands back by the side with the palms facing up. And we're just going to use the hands reaching back towards the feet and the feet lifting up lightly. Just a little bit of a baby locust or shalabhasa. So using the breath that feels best for you, root down through the pubic bone. Lift as far as you want and lower down on the opposite breath. Do this 3 times. Finding. Is it right? Is it comfortable? One more time. Good, and on the exhale again, take the hands, make a pillow. Go ahead and lift up both legs and let the heels go one side to the other. Now to get in a little bit more of a twist, go ahead and take your hands just either under the shoulders, or they could be out to the side, depends on what feels comfortable. Start to bend your right knee. Pressing down through the top of the left, lift your right thigh off the ground. And then start to use your right hand to push the upper body a little bit. And just start to bring your body up and over. See if your toes can come over and touch the ground to the left. Hold for a breath, maybe looking out to the right. And then you're going to come back, bringing that leg back, and set that right leg down on the ground. Bend at the left knee. Pick that thigh up off the ground. Pushing with that left hand a little bit, starting to lift the chest a little as you try to see if you can drop those toes over towards the right now. Let your body roll with it as much as you want. One more breath. And then bringing it back. Setting that thigh down. Bring the feet down. Good. Hands are up and under the shoulder. Coming up through maybe up dog or cobra, and then gradually curling yourself back onto hands and knees. Curl the toes under. Lift up the knees for a moment. We're back in that kind of what we call this bear pose. Connect the pubic bone and the lower ribs. And then start to take it up to down dog. Reach it up and back. Take a couple breaths in down dog, however it is that it may feel comfortable to do this. Maybe walking out the legs, or maybe moving into one hip and then the other. And then we're going to look between the hands and either step or hop yourself forward, coming back to that forward bend. Let yourself bend the knees for a moment. Let your spine relax. Let your head and neck relax, and nod your head yes. I'm continuing to take good care of myself. No, I would never do something that is silly for my body. And again, let's come up through chair pose. Push into the heels. Start to raise up through the arms. Connecting the low ribs and the pubic bone. Then bringing the hands to the heart, but keeping this position of the spine. And then on whatever breath feels comfortable, rotating lightly to one side. Hold for a breath in a twist. Come back to center. Same thing to the other side. Rotating to the other side. Hold for a breath. Come back to center. Root down into the feet and start to lift all the way up. Maybe just straight up or maybe a light back bend. And then hands return back to the heart. And do a check-in with your body, your mind, your breath, your energy. And as you're ready, releasing the arms on down. So just giving anything a shake that wants to shake. How's that feeling? Cool. How did plank pose feel?
Oh, it's hard.
How was the connection with the rib cage and the pubic bone? Is that a help in that? Your wrists are starting to bother. So you need to stay off your wrists.
It's not from yoga. All one has done on these times.
Mm-hmm.
And so the phone, my computer was off for months.
Okay.
And so I took the phone, and you know this is very bad for the hands and joints and everything.
So you've got phonitis.
We all do.
All right, so we got to counter that. Well, even if it wasn't from yoga, it's still, you want to be aware of it, that if it's already bothering you, then we don't want to push it too much because it's a little sore already. We don't want to aggravate it, all right? So let's do something that's a little bit of just strengthening work for that. I'm going to have Lillian, you take this one. Lee will take the green ones. There we go. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take this under one of your feet, doesn't matter. And you're going to, what we're going to do is one hand at a time. We're going to get enough of this. And this is kind of the grip that you want. Gripping it in your hands like this. And then just a little bit of tension, like if you have your arm with the elbow pinned in, a little bit of tension that's already in there. Then we drop, just move from the wrist, and then lift like that. Does that feel okay? Okay, so what we're doing is, in yoga, we're often pressing like this, but we're pushing down into it. So what we're doing is we're trying to strengthen those muscles that have to help us with this flexion, this position. We're making them work instead of being in a static position and having full body weight. So this is a good wrist strengthener for this. This is about 5 or 6 right now. So try to hold the elbow steady, like pin it to your side. That's it, so it comes right from the wrist. And that's good. Now, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to turn the palm over and start the palm that way. And then bring it up like that. Okay? So, I'm a little bit stronger this direction. So I can do a little bit more. How's this feeling? It's not aggravating? No? Okay, good. So one of the things that we want to do and maintain as we get older is grip strength. Being able to hold on to something, being able to open jars, that kind of thing. And so this also helps us with that. Okay, good. Let's switch to the other side. So all of these muscles that come up and they're part of the forearm, but they connect with down there is really what we're working. When we're doing most of the things that we do in yoga, we only kind of bend the wrist and we weight bear on that, but it's held in a kind of static position. So this is asking those muscles to actually get a little stronger. All right. So again, finding just that starting tension, how much you want. And we're starting with the arm down like that, and then we pull up. And that's so much because I'm right-handed. So I do so many more things with the right hand. Yeah. But it's really good for us to keep this because, again, so that as we age, we still can bear our weight as we want to. On our hands. We can use our phone if we want to. Or like I was doing this weekend, paint the wall. Yep. I think I've done about 7. Okay. So we're going to turn the hand over. Same thing this time. Really good. I remember years ago my piano teacher told me to do this. So it would be a better. Okay, I think I've done about 8 of these as well. All right. Okay, let's set that off to the side. So, doing a few things like this, again, a couple times a week to supplement your practice is only going to help. So this is why I always try to incorporate some of these things in the classes. Now, let's take this for a moment. Just bring the hands together like this. We'll kind of move them to one side. The idea is to try to do how far can you go in keeping your hands connected to each other. We're going to do the same thing all the way as far up as we can. And then here's the tricky one, coming as far down as we can. How far down can we go and keep the, there's 2, good. There. Now make a circle in one direction and in the opposite direction. Good. Shake it. And now let's take the hands back and behind, and let's just check out how this works here. And I have to separate, can we find the hands together back here? I've done this for a while. Now, finding your hands back here, can you find again your rib cage and the pubic bone? I was pushing my spine way forward to get my hands back here. And release. And shake it out. Okay. All right. Let's take this into working with a little bit today. We'll go into and work a little bit with coming down into what is called parvottonasana. It's the forward bend that has the same foot position as like a warrior one. And reaching forward like that. Now, we're going to try it in a number of options. We're going to try it first with just hands relaxed.
I was just thinking of this pose right now, and I was like, that's the pose I don't like.
Uh-oh. Well, let's try a couple different things. So we're going to have blocks.
I should be
See, I
careful with
read
my
your
thoughts.
mind. I read your
I
mind.
should be careful with my thoughts.
That's it. It's that impressive manifestation.
Lately, I have.
All right. So find your foot position, right leg forward, left leg back. Position like a warrior one, right? Something that's going to be comfortable. And let's just for a moment, just taking the blocks and having them in your hands. And let's focus on this tilt here. So trying to keep this connection. Remember the rib cage to pubic bone connection. How far can we tilt trying to maintain that connection? Right about here is where I stop. How far can you go before you have to change your spine, before you have to change the rib cage and pubic bone? From there, now bend that front knee. Let's take the blocks down and just plant them down. And say for right now, we're going to leave the hands on the blocks for a moment. Trying to start to lift up and lengthen this front leg again, unbending the knee. Keep rooting into the outside edge of that back leg. And can you again here find a little bit of the baby connection between rib cage and pubic bone? You may be rounding your spine a little bit by now. And then bend the knee. Let's grab onto the blocks and bring them with us as we stand back up. All right, let's just take the blocks up for a moment. Let's just do a light little twist to one side. Come back to center. To the other side. Come back to center. Good. Step it forward. And let's switch legs. Let's do that same thing. Again, warrior one type position. Doesn't have to be the longest one on the planet. Let's find a hip hinge here. How's this feeling in that spot on your back? It's okay? All right, good. So finding this and then focus again on that. This just helps me to remember the rib cage to pubic bone connection. So I'm keeping that and try to draw down. How far can I hinge with my hips and maintain that? And on this side, I feel like my stopping point is sooner. like to go down any farther, I'm going to have to start grounding my spine. So then finding your way down, finding those blocks planted down. And again, just maybe bend that knee a little bit. It's okay to bend the knee first. Feel how that releases maybe the hamstring. It might release a little bit of strain in the low back. Find both feet really well grounded, pressing into both feet, but now starting to pull from the arch of your left foot up towards that sit bone, straightening that leg again. Maybe the spine is rounded. Maybe you've got still that good connection between pubic bone and lower ribs. One more breath here. And then we're going to bend that front knee, start to come up. Again, bring the blocks with you. And this time, keep the left block up in the air. Let's drop the right one down and just do a little side bend over to the side. Come on back up. Join the blocks. Left one down. Side bend to the left. Back up. Go ahead and bring the blocks up. And step forward, bring the arms down. All right. How did that feel? Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to again have the option now of changing the arms. So instead of having the hands in front, we'll switch back to the original side. And we're going to just hold on to one block. And this time as we go forward and we do that hinge, we're going to take the hands back behind and maybe do that pressing the hands into the block or just grabbing onto the block and then coming down. All right? So find and feel that comfortable leg position. We're going to do again that hinge, but this time arms back and behind. And so drawing the shoulder blades towards each other at the same time, connecting pubic bone and low ribs. Find the hinge. First finding that lengthening, 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 lengthening. And then maybe it's okay to bend that knee a little bit if you want to, or not. Finding maybe your way down a little bit more by letting the spine round. And then maybe working with straightening that front leg again. Just pay attention. And now undoing the block and bringing the left hand of the block down to the ground. Bring your right hand onto your right hip. Right here, find pubic bone and low rib connection. Lightly pressing down to that left hand, start to draw your right shoulder up. And if it's comfortable, you can always extend that right arm up towards the sky too. One more breath. Unrotate. Let's go ahead and just move the block over to the other side. Set your fists or your hands down, and let's step it back to plank. Knee plank's always an option. Here in regular plank, hands and knees or feet drawing towards each other. Find the low ribs and the pubic bone connected. And then again, lower down, nice and slow. Slow, 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 slow. Maybe knees come down. Make that little pillow for your forehead. Bend both of the knees. Let your heels rock a little side to side. And again, we're going to take those hands back, going back towards the feet. Now this time, either back towards the feet, and we'll lift up again, either into a locust or a baby cobra, or you can clasp your hands together if you want and reach those hands towards your feet. So one of the options, using your breath 3 times will lift and 3 times will come down. Use the breath that you want. Lift up and feel lightness. Bring it back down. Do this 2 more times. And 1 more time. And then as you come down this time, again, bring your hands to make that little pillow for your head. Wiggle, wiggle the hips. And again, we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders and start to lift up and onto the hands and knees. Finding that, dragging the hands and the knees towards each other, curl the toes under, hover the knees, connect the lower ribs and the pubic bone. And then press it on up towards the downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here. Again, you can always walk out the dog, or sway the hips, or do like little twisty things. When you're ready, then we're going to step the left foot forward, and we're going to bring that block over towards the right side of the mat, and stand it on up for a moment. And we're going to have the same position, left foot forward. And we're going to, again, come into this parvottonasana, variation if you'd like, with the hands back behind, either with the brick, or clasping the hands, or even trying the reversing stand. All right, choose your option. Remember, the block is a nice option too. It gives some space in between the hands. Or you can try just clasping the hands. All right. I keep them, for right now, I'm going to keep them like this. Now, another option too, I didn't even mention, could also be grasping the elbows. So, it's really here what we're working with. If we're not getting all the way into the hands, it's really about the shoulders. It's really where we're going with this. So, finding again this feeling of the hinge. Whichever position you're choosing to use with your hands, find the hinging at the hips. When you get to where, okay, I can't go any farther without rounding my spine, find that low rib and pubic bone connection. Hold for another breath. And then if you can with straight legs, great, but if not, you can always lightly bend that knee and allow the spine to round, coming down, and then working with drawing from the arch of that foot up. And maybe straighten that. Holding for another breath or so. And then gently undoing the hands and starting to bring that right hand down towards your block. Finding the support there. Left hand's on your left hip. And again, rooting into the feet. Starting to lift up through that left shoulder. Maybe pressing down into that right hand. And then lifting up through the top arm. We snuck in a revolved triangle. One more breath. Parvritta, trikonasana. And then gently unwinding. Just go ahead and move that block out of the way. Bend the knees. Take the hands down. And if you want one more plank and to lower down nice and slow, great. If you don't, come on down. If you want that one more plank, connecting the low ribs and the pubic bone, feeling the strength of that, and then slowly lowering yourself down. All right, and we're going to go right into the little twist. So possibly you want to take the arms out to the sides this time. And we're going to bend the right knee and lift that thigh off the ground. And then we're going to start to pull that leg across the body and maybe be able to touch the right toes down to the floor back to your left side. You can always lift up on the fingertips of that right arm. And if it's comfortable, starting to lift the right arm off the ground and then taking it back behind you as if you're trying to join the back of your right hand and the back of your left hand together. Beautiful. Breathe into this. Maybe one or two more breaths. And then gently as you're ready, starting with the arm first, bring that on over, finding the ground, undoing the hips. Bring that right thigh back. Maybe take the hands underneath the forehead for a moment. Wiggle, wiggle. Checking if you have stuff on the right side that you're going to want to move out of the way. And then, once again, taking the arms out to the sides. Bending the left knee, starting to lift that thigh up and off the ground. Taking and drawing that foot towards the right side. You may come up on the fingertips of your left hand. Maybe finding the ground with that left foot. And then deciding, do I want to lift the left arm up and draw it up and maybe back and towards that right hand. To see how far you want to go on this side. Breathe into it. One or two more breaths. And then as you're ready, looks great. You're ready to start coming back, arm first. Extend the leg. And then, again, making a pillow for underneath your forehead. Lifting up both of the feet, bending at the knees, and just windshield wiper your legs side to side. So taking a moment here and then just check in. How's my body? How's my mind? How's my breath? How's my energy? And whenever it is that you're ready, gently using your arms underneath your shoulders, let's come back up. One more time onto hands and knees. And just take a moment here, and again, you can always use the fists to draw up and really separate the shoulder blades, arching the spine up towards the ceiling, coming back into neutral. Do that one more time, drawing the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling, and then coming back to neutral. And right here, think about that being that fish. Maybe draw the shoulders and the hips towards each other on one side, and then the other side, like you're that fish moving through the water, side to side. Good. All right, go ahead and sit back towards the heels. We're coming into a child's pose. So you can always separate the knees if you want to. If your head doesn't easily come down, you can always either stack your hands or bring your block over and set that underneath the forehead. Let your hands rest, either out in front or towards your heels, wherever they feel the most comfortable right now. Breathe into your back body. Breathe into those beautiful shoulders, that incredible spine, those wonderful hips, hamstrings. Really feel the back of your lungs expanding really nice and largely with your inhale. And feel that nice full emptying out on the exhale. Okay, Rico. All right. So we're going to do one more easy seated twist. So go ahead and bring your hands under your shoulders, gently lifting your body up. So we're just going to move into having the legs starting off out in front. I like to sit on a blanket for this twist because it just feels more comfortable for my spine. Or if you want to use the block or even your bolster that's there. And we're going to take and we're going to have the right leg out and the left knee bent. And with this one, we're going to actually turn towards the right. And we're going to use the arm on the inside of the leg just for maneuvering. So we're doing what's called an open twist. Now, many times, sometimes people feel like, okay, this is not as comfortable in my low back. A way that possibly may help you with that is to think about maybe drawing this leg a little bit farther forward and drawing this leg back a little bit. And so your pelvis starts off in a little bit of a twist already. It's lightly twisting towards the right. And then inviting the twist like this. Some people, your low back or the gluteals don't bother you, and you may not find that of any benefit, right? So the arm and the leg are kind of going to help each other. If it feels like you have to bend really far forward with that, you could always come up more towards the knee and press there if it feels like it helps your spine be taller. So increasing just a little bit, maybe about 20% of that pressing against each other, either drawing this leg in or pushing out through it, taking that right hand back behind, feel the connection of your ribs to the pubic bone, and begin to enter into your twist. Finding here where you want to go to, turning your head, chin, and eyes to join in the twist as well, and then lightly relaxing your chin towards the chest, drawing it in towards the throat a little bit, softening and closing the eyes. That chin action should start a very light ujjayi breath within you, hearing this soft whisper of your breath. And start to imagine the breath is coming down through the crown of your head to your pelvic floor on the inhale, and releasing back and up through that central channel through the crown of the head on the exhale. Nice, full, smooth, easy ujjayi breathing. Perhaps the sound of the ocean like a wave within you. Awareness and discernment. Taking about 3 more breaths like this. And after you've done those 3 breaths, as you're ready, just gently releasing the arms, starting to return back to center. And just take and relax that left leg for a moment. Perhaps a couple little wiggles. Sensing how it feels on the 2 sides of your body right now. Perhaps this instinct of, oh gosh, I have to do the other side. And when that's there, let's bring the right leg up. So again, if you liked that kind of tilt of the pelvis, you're going to just use your hands and just draw that left heel in maybe an inch or so. And then draw that hip back so that your pelvis is now already angled a little bit towards the left. The left hand will be back behind you. This elbow on the right side, again, if I have it way down here, notice how I have to dip forward. And that, my body doesn't like on a twist. I prefer to bring it up a little higher. So that I've got that connection there, a nice isometric work. My back hand is also supporting my spine, either drawing in with this leg or pushing out, which works best, and then gently begin to enter into Trikonasana. Finding here again the depth that you want to go to with this twist that feels right and comfortable for you to sustain. And then lightly beginning to draw the chin in and down towards the chest. Turn the head chin around. Soften and close the eyes. And begin to feel that sense of that soft ujjayi breath within the ocean breath. Perhaps visualizing or feeling it coming through the crown of your head all the way to the pelvic floor on the inhale. And the exhale, drawing it back and up and through the crown of the head. Following the visual or the sense of this ujjayi breath. About 3 more of these nice full breaths. And again, as you finish your third, inviting your body to unwind nice and easy. We're just going to set that right leg down and maybe let the left leg come and join it in a nice and easy cobbler's pose, Baddha Konasana. Now we'll just hold on to your ankles, your toes, whatever feels comfortable. We're not trying to do any kind of big strain here. Just inviting the softness as we open the inner thighs now. Maybe a light little like your butterfly. And then utilizing this position again to find that navel coming towards the spine, spreading the shoulder blades like a seated cat. And then maybe reversing it on another breath and drawing up through the chest like a seated cow. Just doing this a couple more times. And then taking the hands to the outer knees and just drawing them up. And we're going to get ready to go back into corpse pose, Savasana. So we have bolsters for underneath the knees. blankets, or anything that you may want to use to cover your body up. You brought your sarong, Lillian. Would you like a sarong for covering up?
No.
You're okay? All right. The blanket's always good too. The mosquitoes aren't too bad. I had some this morning, so I put one in there and then it seems to be subversive. All right. I think that was
Really bad.
yeah. Well, we had really bad too. We have these fumigators that use an all-natural product, and we had them come Friday, but they don't last very long. Again,
Yeah.
once we get a rain, like it goes away. So, but I appreciate the fact that we're not getting sprayed with chemicals. Okay, so take a moment or two and just when you wiggle and you find and you're feeling that your body's getting nice and comfy in just the right position. Remember, I left my phone in the bathroom. Yes. Okay. And we're going to get a chance now to relax all of the body. So the spine is feeling like it's in its nice and most comfortable position. Now we're going to take our breath and awareness first now to the back of the body. So feel where the back of the head is at on the earth. And just try to invite the back of the head to relax and release as much as it would like, resting now and feeling held by Mother Earth. Invite that same sense of releasing and relaxing down now to come through the back of the head and into the tops of the shoulders. Feeling the tops of the shoulders and the shoulder blades really settling down and snuggling down into Mother Earth. Feeling held by her, comfortable and relaxed. And now perhaps imagining that you're breathing down through your arms. Let every part where the back of your arms are touching the earth now feel like you can relax deeper into them. Feeling as if your arms are being completely supported by Mother. And now invite that feeling of breathing farther down through the center part of your body. Down and through the spine, through the middle back, through the lower back. And perhaps the exhales feel your back softening even further down into Mother Earth. Feel now your rib cage relaxing down. Feel the organs softening in the cavities of the chest and the abdomen. Being held now. All of your upper body. And now invite that breath and awareness to come around the pelvis. And feel the back of the pelvis, the sacrum and the gluteals and the hips softening down. Held here by Mother Earth. Feel softness and release now being breathed down all the way through your legs to your feet. And feel where all the back of your legs and your heels are supported and connected by Mother Earth. And feel them softening and being relaxing into the sense of being held. Feeling her loving embrace now, holding you. Find anywhere on the front of your body that wants to soften now into the back of your body. Softening your toes and feet, your shins and knees and thighs. Softening all the front of the pelvis and the belly. The front of the ribs and the chest. all through the arms, the throat softening, feeling the front of the face, the head softening, the lips and jaw, your cheeks and eyes, your ears and forehead, and all of the scalp. Every part of you now deepening into its relaxation with every breath, and inviting yourself into that heart-mind space where we can rest in observing in our place of discernment and wisdom. Stay here for about 5 more minutes, letting yourself see whatever it is wise to see right now. Once again, becoming aware of the feeling of your body here on the floor in the bench, and the softness of your breath coming in and going out. Inviting as you're ready your breath to deepen just lightly. Gradually bringing awareness back into the position of you, the room you're in. Inviting light and easy movement in the hands and the feet as you're ready. Gradually, perhaps, maybe even stretching everything out. And as you're ready, beginning to draw the knees back into your body, curling up, rocking a little bit side to side if that feels good. Eventually coming over onto your comfortable side, taking some breaths of transition. You'll then come up and find a comfortable seat. You've got about 12 minutes or so for some breathwork and meditation. So using any of the tools to find a way of sitting comfortably. Y voilà. Materially, that is so pretty. All right. As you find your place of comfort, again doing any little wiggling that'll feel good, finding the natural curves of your spine, and either soft eyes or closed eyes, whatever's most comfortable for you. And then once you've found your stillness again, just paying attention to your natural breath, finding the natural pattern of your inhale and exhale. Let there be as little effort involved, but moving into seeing if you can create a breath that is even in the exhale and the inhale. An evenness of length, seeing how smooth you can make this breath. The exhale flowing into the inhale, inhale flowing into the exhale. Sense of ease along with the light effort. This morning we're going to work with Anuloma Viloma, which is alternate nostril breathing, but without using our hands. It may feel as though you're just using your imagination, and that's fine. We'll begin the next exhalation, both nostrils, then an inhalation through both nostrils. Then on that next exhale, as though you're just breathing out through the left, and then breathe back in through the left. Then exhaling out through the right, breathing back in through the right. Always switching with the exhale. Continuing in this pattern at the pace of your breath. Smooth and even, exhale and inhale. Mentally alternating nostrils. If it's helpful to visualize, picturing the breath coming in through one nostril, going to the center of the brain, a white oval center. Exhaling back out through the other nostril, creating an almost upside down V shape as the breath comes in, up to the white oval, exhaling back and out through the other open nostril. Breath still smooth and even, as relaxed as possible. You may even visualize the breath on the left as a white stream coming in, going out. The breath on the right, a red stream coming in and going out. Now the next time that the breath goes out through the left nostril, just return back to your natural breathing pattern. But stay aware of that white oval shape in the center of the brain, the white bindu. And now bring your awareness down to the pelvis and sense there a red bindu, a red oval shape within the pelvis. Perhaps picturing or sensing the red bindu in the pelvis. And now try to become aware of both the red and the white bindu at the same time. Awareness of the two, red in the pelvis, white in the center of the head, simultaneously. Now drawing your awareness from those two bindus simultaneously towards the heart center. Behind the sternum now, a deep blue oval, the bindu of the heart. Sensing this fundamental center, about the level of the lower sternum, deep blue oval shape. Now releasing the bindus and just resting in what is right now. Being aware of all that is in this moment. Relax and soften, releasing any tension. If it's comfortable to turn the palms face upward, and joining the thumbs and index fingers into chin mudra. Inviting this wisdom and discernment, the most fundamental aspect of all that we are, to come with us off of our mat today. May we be wise, may we guide wisdom in others that surround us. May this help our world grow in wisdom as well. When you're ready, then bringing the palms together once again to that heart. And lightly bowing your head to honor all you are and all you experience. We'll close the practice with a single chant of Om in the Ucharana. Exhaling together and inhaling. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace. Thank you for your practice.